So welcome back to SRL. You joined me here halfway through qualifying for round 2 of the season. We had some technical issues in the first broadcast, so that's why we had to restart the stream, so apologies for that. It looks like things are up and running again, so hopefully it is not actually going to happen again. Not sure what actually caused it, but I'll just quickly check if everything is back and running. And it looks like it is. For some reason the stream died, but I think it's back and running again. So apologies for that. No, I don't. I don't know, I just hope it doesn't happen again. No, I don't know, but hopefully it was a one-time thing. Yeah, I'm also like making a recording of it as like a backup, but yeah, I know. But I think it's all good again. Yeah, the PS5 same settings as I always do. So I'm not sure what caused it, but I hopefully yeah, I don't think I can do much apart from. I don't know. Yeah, if it does happen, I'll let you know through PSN. If you don't hear anything, it's anyway. Good luck with the rest of the session. Okay, apologies for that. I forgot to mute myself as well. But we had a couple of technical issues there, so that wasn't ideal to start off with. Hopefully, it's going to be fine for the rest of the session. Because of course, we don't want to have the broadcast actually crashing, especially not during the race. So hopefully, there was a one-time technical glitch there, and it's probably a good thing that it happened during qualifying and not during the race. But most drivers now into the pits as they prepare for their final run of the session. We can see Sam Brand there in the Red Bull about to leave the garage for his final run in the session. Here's George Wilkes in the Aston Martin, currently in 7th place with a 28.5. Wilkes exiting the final corner, turn 15 on the track. Can he improve on his 28.5? He does actually. George Wilkes up into 2nd place, 128.022. Good enough for P2 with 3.5 minutes remaining in the session. Big luck up there into turn 1. Very good lap there for the Aston Martin driver, but it's still a race 1 winner on provisional pole position. Here is Peter Nicol, reserve driver for Red Bull. Oh, a bit of a lag there. That was a bit odd. But he is still on his out lap. Just about to start his final run of the session here. And there we can see the Alpine of Max Mulder behind him. George Wilkes, is he going to go for another run, or is he going to actually head off into the pit lane again? I mean, I'm not sure if he has the fuel to actually go for another lap, but he is very strong indeed now in second place. Max Mulder here in the number 95 Alpine with a nice pink and blue helmet, matching the car very, very nicely indeed. Sporting the number 95 as a tribute to Colin Veijer, who is certainly making waves in the Moto3 World Championship. Round 15 in Mandalika in Indonesia, over in that series. Here is Sam Brandt in the Red Bull. Formerly esports players tuning in as well. Welcome to the live stream here and welcome to round 2 of the season in SRL. So 1.5 minutes left in the session to decide the starting order for round 2 of the season. The two Alpines in 9th and 10th place. Tim Wenting still down at 9th. He's certainly be wanting to move up the order, because Tim Wenting definitely made it clear that he wants to really go for results and fight for race wins and even a championship this season. Unfortunately, Peter Nicol has already left the session. Not sure if he crashed out or retired. Tim Wenting now will bring up the sector times. Currently heading into the second sector. Tim Wenting still down in 9th place with a 28.861. Oh, a bit of a luck up there going into turn 13. Very tight there indeed. Over the back straight and now into the final bend. The track widens out a little bit here on the exit, so you can actually get on the power very, very early, all the way on the curbing there. Tim Wenting exiting the final corner, right up towards the line. Oh, look at that, 27.7 for Tim Wenting. Provisionally the fastest lap, but David Rod straight away with a 27.5. It looks like David Rod is improving even further. Tim Wenting, he had a purple lap. It looked like the message came up that he had the fast lap, but that was actually not true, because David Rod already had that 27.5 on the charge. Looking to improve on it even further, but very good lap time there for Tim Wenting to slot himself into second place. Sandro Dulius is finished. He is down in 6th place. Is David Rod going to be able to improve on the 27.5 even further? George Wilkes has also crossed the line. Stays in 3rd place. Alexei Koivaniemi also still on a lap, and he is just 0.05 of a second behind on his previous personal best. David Rod now into the final corner. He's actually improving by 0.3 of a second into the final bend, getting on the power very early there. Opening up the DRS, is he going to be able to go underneath his lap time? 127.158. Just to rub salt into the wounds. David Rod improves even further, and that should be good enough for pole position. Very, very impressive lap time for David Rod. And Jamie Jägerström up to 2nd place with a 27.7. Dispatches Tim Wenting down to 3rd place. Noah Smith there into P4. Alexei Koivaniemi can't improve on his 5th position, and George Wilkes stays in 6th place. So everybody has now crossed the line apart from Tim Wenting, but it doesn't look like he is still improving. It looks like he is on a slow lap, and yes he is. He goes into the pit lane. So that is the grid for today's race. What a lap we see from the official SRL F1 channel here in the live chat. And it certainly is. Monster Dave with a monster lap there, 27.158. 6 tenths clear of second place. So David Rod is well and truly in a league of his own, at least in terms of one lap pace. So here's your official qualifying results. David Rod on pole position with a whopping 127.1. Almost 6 tenths clear of Jamie Jägerstrom in second place. Tim Wentink in P3. Noah Smith P4. Alexei Kovenemi in 5th, followed by George Wilkes. Noah Rosso in 7th. Sandro Dulis is 8th in front of his Ferrari teammate Dion Stahl. Pretty solid qualifying performance from him. Peter Nicol in 10th place in front of the Italian Vincenzo Torre. Max Mulder in 12th. Sam Brandt P14. To set today's grid order. And it was Gabriel Garmazini in 15th, followed by Senna Herweyer and P16. As we get ready for round 2 of the season. Here in Bahrain, just waiting for all the drivers to complete their strategy programs for the race, select the tires, the fuel usage, maybe make some last minute adjustments on the setup. Of course, with the park frame rules in effect, they can only change things like the front wing and tire pressures, differential, brake balance, things like that. Of course, you can't actually change the other components in the setup. As you get ready for the formation lap, just to warm everything up. We'll run you through the grid order before we start here with round 2 of the season at the Bahrain International Circuit. As you go over this first DRS zone of the track, 3 DRS zones here in Bahrain. And now this is turn 4 on the circuit before you head into this very twisty middle sector. Pretty quick section of the circuit, all 5th and 6th gear corners before heading down into turn 8 here, this hairpin, 3rd gear corner. Very crucial traction zone on the exit before heading into turn 10, which is one of the trickiest corners of the circuit, and in my opinion even of the entire season, because it's so hard to actually get the braking right and even to get the brake balance right, because it's so easy to lock up. You kind of want to lock up your rear tires a little bit there to help rotate the car. As you see the drivers weaving here on this 2nd DRS straight to warm up the tires. But yeah, David Rod is going to be able to make it 2 in a row. He is certainly making himself look like a new contender here. And is he going to be able to fight for the championship and dethrone Jens van Rendel, the triple SRL world champion? He is certainly starting out the season perfectly, winning the first round in Australia, which was actually his maiden SRL Grand Prix win. And now he is chasing his 2nd race win in succession from pole position in front of the driver who also finished in 2nd place in the opening round in Australia, Jamie Jägerstrom in 2nd, followed by the very strong Tim Wentink who looked good in qualifying. And he'll be looking to at least get on the podium today. Sandro Dulis might be slightly disappointed with P8 in qualifying. And he is chasing his 2nd podium finish in a row. As we're about to start the Bahrain Grand Prix, one of the McLarens there, it looked like he had a couple of issues there getting into the grid stall and warming up the tires. I think there was Senna Herweyer in 15th place. So 19 drivers today for round 2 of the season as we wait for the 5 red lights to go on. Lights on red. And round 2 of season 10 is underway. David Rod from pole position is going to be able to maintain lead into turn 1. It's Jamie Jacobs from there on the inside. Already a bit of an incident there further back. That was one of the Alpines. It looks like Max Mulder has been spun around. Jamie Jacobs from into the lead. Takes away the lead from David Rod, and already a virtual safety car straight away. As Garbacini gets a 10-second time penalty for colliding with Robin Hersthagen. So straight away the race has been neutralized here with a virtual safety car, but Jamie Jägerstrom getting the run there and taking the lead into turn 1. So already a crash before we had even gotten to the first corner. There we can see the predicted strategies. It's actually a very heavy circuit for tire wear here, so we will probably see a lot of 2 stops or maybe even 3 stops today. Because the 1 stop around here simply just isn't possible with the way the tire wear is. The virtual safety car has now ended, so we're back on the green flag racing. Jamie Jägerstrom leading the way in the Williams, followed by David Rod in that black and green Kick Sauber, followed by the Alpine of Tim Wentink. As we look through the rest of the field, Noah Smith maintained his 4th place up to start. Alexei Kovenemi in 5th place, followed by George Wilkes. Dion Staal actually managed to get ahead of his teammates. Staal up to P8 in front of Sander Dulius. And the top 10 completed by Peter Nicol in the Red Bull. Jensen Randall already up into 11th place. He started from 17th on the grid. Randall on the outside here of Peter Nicol into turn 10. Correction, into position 10 in turn 15. As Jamie Jägerstrom leads the way after the first lap. We will certainly follow the progress of Jensen Randall. He had a qualifying ban, so he had to start from the back, but he has already gained 7 places in the first lap despite a virtual safety car for about half a lap. Jensen Randall now working on the back of Sander Dulius. Where is he gonna make an attack? He will be wanting to dispatch that Ferrari very quickly, because Jensen Randall is in a rush to get to the front of the pack into the inside of turn 7 there. Block pass on the number 69 gets it done. Brilliant there from Jensen Randall up to P9. Peter Nicol here fighting it out with Vincenzo Torri as well for P11. And Jensen Randall now in between the 2 Ferraris and P9. As Jesper Lempinen unfortunately has been disqualified from the race. So that is very unfortunate for the Finnish driver. I'm not sure what actually caused that. It's very rare that we actually see a driver getting disqualified, but Jesper Lempinen, the first retirement of the race. As Jamie Jägerstrom still leads the way. Yeah, Johan Peter Keenan in the live chat also wondering what has went on with Jesper Lempinen. It's, yeah, like I said, very rare to see somebody actually getting disqualified. Not sure what happened there, as Noah Smith makes a move up the inside of Alexei Kovenemi into turn 1, but he actually loses out there, as also Jensen Randall now gets through on Dion Staal for P8. He's got a 2.4 second gap now to Noah Rosso in the Sauber. And look at how close this leading group is still. Jamie Jägerstrom just 0.2 of a second in front of David Rod, followed by Tim Wentink and Noah Smith. Even Alexei Kovenemi, we really have a group of 5 here. Look at that, how close it is. Then there's about a 1.5 second gap to George Wilkes. You can throw a blanket over the top 5, still really close together, as the DRS has been enabled, of course already from lap 2 onwards. So far still Jamie Jägerstrom leading the way. Yeah, from the esports pointing out that the drivers are locking up a lot. That's almost inevitable, especially around a circuit like this. Tim Wentink there showing it as well. But yeah, especially into the corners like turn 10, it's so difficult to get the braking right. And if you're braking on the limits, it's, yeah, inevitable to lock up the tires a little bit. It's actually probably the fastest way around the track to lock up a little bit, because if you're not, it means you're not pushing hard enough. But of course it does hurt the tires. Onto the main straight for the 4th time of asking. Is David Rod going to be able to make an attack on Jamie Jägerstrom? He's got the DRS. David Rod up the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick? It looks like he can. David Rod, our new race leader. And in the meantime, George Wilkes and the other Sauber of Noah Rosso are fighting out as well. Look at that, Wilkes having a look up the inside there. Side by side, and George Wilkes has spun around. George Wilkes, oh, he saved it, but he has lost a lot of momentum and has dropped down to P10. Meanwhile, Tim Wenting now also making a move on Jamie Jägerstrom. So Jamie loses 2 positions in about 4 corners there. Jamie Jägerstrom down to 3rd place. Tim Wenting now can set his sights on Monster Dave to try and go into the lead of this race. But he has to set up for 2nd place for now. He might actually be relatively happy to just stay there for now and stay in that DRS window. But I think Tim Wenting definitely is going to be looking to take over the lead now on this 5th lap. And we'll be looking to use the advantage of the DRS as we start with lap 5. But yeah, very unfortunate mistake there for George Wilkes, dropping him all the way back down to P10, nearly outside of the points. But he is still close behind Sander Dulis for P9. So David Rod still leading the way as he exits the final corner. A bit of a moment there for David Rod as he tries to go on the power on the exit of the final corner. Tim Wenting in the slipstream, he's got the DRS flap open, though he is not close enough. Bit of a Constantino effect right into turn 1. And meanwhile, Jensen Randall now up into 6th place, goes through on Noah Rosso. And he has got a 3.3 second gap to close down to Alexei Koganami. The 2 Ferraris still very close as well. Sander Dulis, Dion Staal and George Wilkes. Dion Staal still in front of Sander Dulis. George Wilkes, it looks like he doesn't have any damage from that earlier moment. Oh, he's trying to go on the outside of Dulis. Dulis defends the inside line into turn 8. As he now go into 9 and then the braking zone of turn 10. Dulis still defends the position for now. Back at the front. The black and green Kick Sauber still holding the advantage. David Rod, the number 75, followed by Tim Wenting, number 42, and then the number 6 of Jamie Jägerstrom. It's Romania from the Netherlands and Norway in the top 3. Then it's Great Britain with Noah Smith, and then Finland with Alexei Koivuniemen. Look at that, Tim Wenting, very close in the slipstream. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1 almost. And Jamie Jägerstrom goes for the 2-1 deal and takes the lead at the start of lap 6. David Rod loses 2 places in 1 corner. Now Tim Wenting very close to the back of the Williams. Is he going to be able to make a move on the outside there to break down for turn 4? No, not quite. But Jamie Jägerstrom back into the lead. Great move there from the number 6 as he took Tim Wenting and David Rod both in a run-up towards turn 1. It was literally 3 wide there, and Jamie Jägerstrom managed to take advantage of Tim Wenting and David Rod going side by side. David Rod was almost like a sitting duck there, not having the DRS, and this is now allowed Noah Smith to close up as well. Formula Esports pointing out that this battle is crazy indeed. Look at that, Noah Smith having a bit of a look there as well. David Rod is now going to have the DRS, as does Tim Wenting on Jamie Jägerstrom. But the Norwegian still leads the way, just about. But it's certainly a very entertaining opening phase of this race. Ivan Brito and Senna Herweijer here. While that is going on, they're battling it out for P16. The Mercedes in the McLaren, followed by Robin Hersthagen there in the Haas. So Ivan Brito takes the position from Senna Herweijer. Oh, Tim Wenting has picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. David Rod takes advantage of it and goes up the inside as we go over the main straight. Jägerstrom still leads the way. Tim Wenting in the center of the Williams, but David Rod attacking him back for 2nd place as we go into turn 1. Oh, almost contact between the 2 of them. Tim Wenting forced out once more by David Rod, but holds the advantage. And Noah Smith just in behind with a watching brief as well. Bentley up the inside into turn 4. Tim Venting now into the lead as he goes up the inside of Jamie Jägerström. There's contact between the two of them. Oh, a lot of hopes there for Tim Venting as he lights up the rear tyres. He's got the inside line for turn 5 now, and Tim Venting now takes the lead, but he does have that 3-second time penalty next to his name now. Oh, bit of a luck up there. You can see the rear tyres almost screaming for grip there. But great move for Tim Venting as he now takes the lead on lap 7. Noah Smith there, still clinging onto the back of this leading group. It looks like there might have been a bit of a moment between Tim Venting and David Rod in the final corner. I think Tim Venting might have been squeezed off the track there, and that might have caused him to pick up that time penalty. That has got very unfortunate for the Dutchman. Although with the way the track limits are on this track, it's so easy to actually get track limit warnings. We might see the other drivers picking up a penalty later on in this race as well. On board with Jamie Jägerström as we exit the final corner. He's going to open up that DRS flap in the rear wing. Jamie Jägerström easily goes through now on Tim Venting as we head down into turn 1. Jägerström back into the lead. And look at that David Rod now trying to take advantage of that. David Rod up the inside of Tim Venting into turn 4. Still side by side for the two of them, but David Rod just about is able to get the position on the exit. David Rod back into second. As we ride along with Jamie Jägerström in the Williams with a very nice blue and pink helmet design. But now Jamie Jägerström is going to be the one with the disadvantage of being able to punch a hole in the air. David Rod there with the DRS flap open, so things better off for now. Jägerström with a bit of a twitch there, exiting turn 11. Look at how close David Rod is. He's just going to stick back for now. He's just going to wait for the DRS on the main straight. Or is he going to already try and make a move here into the final corner? He's almost pushing Jamie Jägerström to the corner there. Still slots into second place. Look at Tim Venting nearly running into the back of the Sauber in front of him. Yellow flags as well. It looks like somebody has made a mistake exiting the hairpin in turn 10. But that is irrelevant to the battle at the front. David Rod now back into the lead as he overtakes Jamie Jägerström on the start finish straight. And this is almost becoming like a cat and mouse game here at the front of the race. You just can't escape with how powerful the slipstream DRS is. Although Tim Venting, he's going to be kicking himself. But he's now got that 3-second time penalty, because that bit could be crucial at the end of the race. So here you can see all the tyre choices as well on the left of your picture. Most of the drivers here, basically the entire top 9, haven't actually pitted yet. But we can definitely see a lot of split strategies here. David Rod on the medium tyres, Jamie Jägerström on the softs, and then Tim Venting, Jens Randall and Noah also all on the mediums as well. Dion Stahl actually on the softs as well. So the two Ferrari teammates also on split strategies. And then we also have a couple of drivers further back who have made their first pit stop now and have switched to the hard compound of tyres. Into the final corner for the 9th time. This time Jamie Jägerström is going to be the driver who's going to be able to benefit from the slipstream DRS from the Sauber in front of him. Although Jamie Jägerström, having started on that softer compound, is now coming into the pit lane and he's going to try and do an undercut on David Rod and Tim Venting. So that now relinquishes David Rod into the lead, followed by Tim Venting. They've got a 2.1 second gap now to Jensen Randall, who is already up into 3rd place. Jensen Randall started from 17th on the grid and is already in 3rd place after 10 laps. Unbelievable comeback there for the British driver in the McLaren. Tim Venting now very close to that green unleashed rear wing in front of him. As you go into the middle sector here, turns 6, 7 and 8 and now breaking down into turn 9. Jamie Jägerstrom, he exits the pit lane in P8. Crucially has clear track in front of him. He rejoins in front of his teammate Noah Smith, who's also come in. As George Wilkes picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Sam Brent, having also paid it to the hard comment of tires, up to 13 in front of his teammate Peter Nicol. But this is the battle that we want to see. David Rod between Tim Venting for the lead of the race. I wonder how far they're going to actually stretch those mediums. Look at that, they were both on the absolute limit there on the exit of turn 14. They might have actually picked up a warning there because it looked like they actually exceeded the track limits. As they exit the final corner, Tim Venting, he's actually going to make a very late call to go to the pit lane. And he's going to do the undercut on David Rod. I'm sure that he did that on purpose. A very late dive into the pit lane. I think he wanted to catch out David Rod there. I'm not sure if David Rod was expecting that. Tim Venting into the pit lane, and now we can get a lap on fresh tires while David Rod is running on a one set of mediums. Is Venting going to be able to undercut him? He will need to take advantage of this because he also has that 3-second time penalty. Where is Tim Venting going to rejoin? Exiting the pit lane, it's a bit awkward there. Look at that, Jamie Jägerstrom. He's done the undercut on Tim Venting. And he just has to settle for 5th place behind the number 6 in the Williams there. And he even has to defend from the other Williams. Noah Smith now attacking Tim Venting up the inside into turn 4. And they're going to lose a lot of time here if they go side by side through this very fast and twisty section of the circuit. Tim Venting down to P6. This is exactly not what the Dutch driver wanted. He rejoined in traffic and rejoined just between the two Williams teammates as well. The Williams guys can now work together to try and stay in front of Tim Venting. Max Mulder now with a fresh set of soft tires puts in the provisional fastest lap of the race. David Rod, he is surely going to respond to Tim Venting, and he's going to go into the pit lane on this lap. As he goes to the right. No, he doesn't. David Rod stays out. David Rod stays out, interestingly enough. He doesn't react to Tim Venting, and he is stretching those tires. He might be looking to have an advantage later on in the race. That is very interesting, because I was convinced that David Rod is going to come into the pit lane on that very lap. Tim Venting, they're nearly running into the back of Noah Smith. He's going to have to get past those two Williams drivers to get back into the lead again. Once David Rod actually pits. Tim Venting up the inside into turn 1. Venting against Smith. Noah Smith still has the inside for turn 2. Still no way through for Venting. There's a double DRS zone. They both have DRS from Jamie Jägerstrom. Venting up the inside into turn 4. And he gets both of them. Venting very, very hot on the brakes. And he completely blows the corner. Venting down into 5th place. Oh, that is a very, very costly mistake for Venting. He tried it a little bit too much there. A little bit too desperate to get through on both those Williams cars. And he blew the corner, ran wide, and lost another place. As Alexei Kovenemi took advantage. Kovenemi now suddenly up into P3. Oh, Tim Venting just a little bit too aggressive there. Maybe getting a little bit impatient. But this is crucial ground that he is losing to David Rod, who is clear in the lead of the race, but still yet to pit. And he stays out again. David Rod for a 13th lap on those medium tires. He is stretching those tires very, very far. I'm really interested to see what his plan is. Is he going to even try and stretch it to a one-stop? I think he actually might do that, as Noah Smith now is in 2nd place. But this is now effectively for the lead of the race, because David Rod will probably rejoin at the back of this pack if he decides to pit now. So we're looking at the effective battle for the lead. And look at how close it is. Alexei Kovenemi now up the inside of Noah Smith. And the Mercedes driver now takes over 2nd place. And he effectively there on lap 13. As we watch those drivers on from this very nice aerial shot, you can just see how close this group is. You can still pretty much throw a blanket over the drivers ranging from P2, Alexei Kovanen to Jens Rendo in P6 at the back of this train. Fantastic spectacle to see those drivers so close together. And this will become the battle for the lead once David Roth decides to pit. Alexei Kovanen is still holding the advantage. The two Williams cars behind him. Tim Wenting in the Alpine. And here comes Jensen Rendel up the inside of Tim Wenting. Rendel up to 5th place. Fastest corner on the circuit. They almost touched. Tim Wenting forced out wide by Jensen Rendel. Rendel now up into 5th place. Into turn 13. Bit of a luck up there for the inside front tire. This would be an amazing comeback for Jensen Rendel if he's going to be able to win this race from 17th on the grid. As we go over the main straight for the 40th time, Noah Smith up the inside of Alexei Kovanen. The other Williams driver, Jamie Jägerström, taking advantage of it as well. Both the Williams drivers gaining a place here into turn 1. And Jensen Rendel now up into 4th place as well. Alexei Kovanen just went from 2nd to 5th in the space of 1 corner. Alexei Kovanen loses 3 places in 1 maneuver, and that allows Jensen Rendel to climb up to P4. And there we can see the other McLaren of Senna Herweijer. He needs to get out of the way of this battle. He's a back marker, so hopefully he will not interfere with this fight for P2, which will become the fight for P1. It's turn 13. Williams 2nd and 3rd at the moment. And then the McLaren of Jensen Rendel now very close to the back of Jamie Jägerström. On board with the reigning world champion. Oh, bit of a slide there, lighting up the rear tires. As they now go over the main straight, DRS is open. Noah Smith almost a sitting duck. Look at that, Jamie Jägerström goes past. Here comes Jensen Rendel as well. Jensen Rendel up into 3rd position. Noah Smith now demoted behind the Williams and the McLaren. And also David Roth has finally come into the pit lane. Where has he rejoined on the circuit? Here comes David Roth. He is all the way down in 6th place, but on fresh hard tires. So this is now the fight for the lead again. Jamie Jägerström leading the way from Jensen Rendel and Noah Smith. Oh, a bit of a slide there as well. As Senna Herweijer is just in front of this group as well. Oh, look at that. Jensen Rendel almost trying to go to the outside. He's going to cut back for a better exit there. Senna Herweijer gets out of the way nicely. And Jensen Rendel now into the lead on the back straight here, halfway through lap 15. So all of the drivers now in this leading group have made a pit stop. But look at the difference between the tire age. All of these drivers in this leading group are on 5-6 lap old tires. Jensen Rendel only on 3 lap old tires, but David Roth now on a fresh set of hards. Is he going to be able to close down that gap with the tire wear advantage? Jensen Rendel 131.3 takes away the fast lap from Max Mulder. Jamie Jägerström. Oh, there's a look up the inside. They touch. Jamie Jägerström and Jensen Rendel make contact in turn 1. And Jamie Jägerström knows that he can't let Jensen Rendel escape. Jägerström to the outside. Takes back the lead on lap 16, though runs it a little bit wide. Jensen Rendel tries to have a look, has a bit of a touch there, has to settle back into 2nd place. What a race this is. Meanwhile, just looking through the field a little bit, we've got George Wilkes here in the Williams, as we've got a virtual safety car for a driver who has had an incident. It looks like it might have been Senna Herweijer. Down in P18. Sam Brand tries to take advantage of that VSC and now goes into the pit lane. So the race briefly neutralized here with this virtual safety car. All the drivers will have to stick to a delta until the virtual safety car is released again. So all the drivers now just having to keep those tires in that operating window. Well, they have to stick to the delta time. Good to see that it doesn't get upgraded to a full safety car, because I don't want any interference in this race. This is really spicing up to be a very great finale in this race indeed. 15 laps to go. Look at that! Oh, Jimmy actually nearly faked it into the pit lane, and actually somebody reacted to that as Noah Smith decides to take the bait and go into the pit lane. Oh, it might have been a very awkward timing because the virtual safety car is now gone again. But still, even another driver there, that was Garbazini going into the pit lane as well. So some drivers not being able to stretch it on a one-stop. And SRL leads the way. I think Noah Smith wanted to take advantage of that virtual safety car. Of course, you'll lose less time with a pit stop because everybody is having to stick to the delta. But I think he was counting on the virtual safety car to just stay for a little bit longer. And it just went away while he was in the pit lane. So I don't think that has been the right strategy call for Noah Smith. But he might have already felt like he couldn't actually stretch those tires to the end. Yeah, this is an intriguing race. We've got the top 4 drivers here on old hard tires. David Rod in 5th place. He's got a 3.7 second gap to Tim Venting, but he's on 6 lap newer tires, which could be crucial at the end of the race. We will certainly have to keep monitoring that gap between David Rod and Tim Venting, because he might actually close it back down. I'm very intrigued to see if David Rod has made the right strategy call to stretch those mediums so long into the race, lose time initially, give up that, lead, and even give up being part of the leading group, not being able to benefit from the DRS, just to have fresher tires at the end of the race. Tim Venting now getting through on Alexei Kovenemi for 3rd place in this race, and also Jen Sorendo's actually picked up a 3-second time penalty. So Jamie Jägerström and Alexei Kovenemi, the only ones out of this leading top 4 without a penalty. As Noah Smith now goes through on Dion Staal for P9. He is now in between the 2 Ferrari teammates. On board with Jens Romendo, your race leader. Into the hairpin of turn 10. You can see the tires squealing there. Jamie Jägerström attacks Jens Romendo. Jägerström into the lead here with 12 laps to go. The Jens Rando is now going to have the DRS advantage on the main straight. This is really turning out to be a very exciting race indeed. Jens Rando, look at how close he is to the back of the Williams. He's just saving the DRS for now to deploy all of that as we exit the final corner to start lap 19 out of 29. You can see the green bar now enabling on the wheel. Jensen Rendell with the slipstream, DRS and ERS goes through on the Williams. As Jensen Rendell now takes the lead. What can Tim Venting do from 3rd place? Jamie Jägerström had a bit of a look up the inside. Tim Venting almost tries to go around the outside there, though locks up the inside front tire. And Jensen Rendell retakes the lead. On lap 19, 11 laps to go. Jägerström back up the inside of the turn 4. Look at that, very, very late on the brakes for Jägerström. Jensen Rendell's able to cut back and get a better exit here. They're going to go side by side into turn 6, but Jensen Rendell just about cuts across the nose of the Williams driver. Rendell back into the lead in front of Jamie Jägerström. Tim Venting very close behind Jägerström as well. And Alexei Kovenemi is still only 3/10 behind too. It's a really close top 4. But David Rod, he is not yet really closing down that gap. It's still a 3.5 second difference between him and Alexei Kovenemi at the back of this leading quartet. Jensen Rendell trying to fan out to the left hand side of the circuit, right of your picture, to try and break that slipstream. And And Randall now eking out a bit of an advantage. The gap is now 7/10. He's trying to break him. He's trying to break Jägerström and get out of the DRS 1 second window. Jensen Randall on 7-lap old hard tires. Jamie Jägerström 9-lap old hard tires. Tim Wenting is on 8-lap old tires. Alexei Kovanen 10 laps. And David Roth, aka Monster Dave, he has got the freshest tires out of anyone in the top 10. Tim Wenting now getting past on Jamie Jägerström for second place. Oh, very, very late on the brakes there. Bit of a luck up. Tim Wenting cleanly gets it done. Is he going to be able to attack Jensen Randall now? Also looking at the penalty positions now, look at that. Jensen Randall and Tim Wenting both with 3-second time penalties. If they work together here, just maybe they can try and escape from Jamie Jägerström and Alexei Kovanen, because they need that 3-second buffer. I mean, with both Randall and Tim Wenting having a 3-second time penalty, Jamie Jägerström might actually have the best seat in the house here to try and take this win. And even Alexei Kovanen could be a dark horse to win this race. And dare I say it, David Roth, he is now closing down that gap. He is now definitely feeling the effects of having the freshest tires. The gap is down to 2.6 seconds. And he still has 9.5 laps left. Is he going to be able to join this group and make it a 5-way fight? It is still a quartet for now here at the lead of the race. Jensen Randall, he isn't able to break Tim Wenting. The gap is still under half a second as we go into the final corner for the 20th time. Tim Wenting here. Next in the final corner, using a bit of ERS there and now opening up the DRS. We can see him crawling towards the back of that McLaren in front of him. Is he going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1? No, he is not. Settles for second place for now as they break down into the first corner. Yellow flags, that is Senna Herweijer. He's had a disastrous race today. And it looks like he is off in the middle sector. But luckily that hasn't triggered a safety car. Meanwhile, well, the other McLaren is in last. The other one is in the lead. Jensen Randall still leads the way by half a second. We've got the season 6, 7 and 9 champion, followed by the season 5 champion, Tim Wenting. And it's awesome how the closest battle on track is the battle for the victory. This is really building up to be a great end to this race. Look at Jensen Randall on the limit there. He had a bit of a twitch on the exit of turn 13. And they're about to catch up to another group there. I think that's Senna Herweijer and Peter Nicol in 17 and 18th place. Tim Wenting once again. Look at the overspeed. This time Tim Wenting takes the lead into turn 1. Yeah, brilliantly done there for Tim Wenting into the lead. As Alexei Kovanen now also picks up a 3-second time penalty, so all the top 3 drivers with a time penalty. Jensen Randall back up the inside of Tim Wenting, takes over the lead here into turn 4. Is he gonna hold it on the brakes there? Very deep there for Jensen Randall, and Tim Wenting just about can't take advantage. Wow, Jensen Randall, Tim Wenting and Alexei Kovanen all with a 3-second time penalty. So Jamie Jägerström, if it just stays within 3 seconds and doesn't get any more track limit warnings, he can actually take it away from all 3 of these guys and actually walk away with the win. Jensen Randall, he has got the biggest lead that he's had now, 0.8 of a second, though not enough yet to escape the DRS from Tim Wenting. But it's Senna Herweijer there on the left. Luckily stays out of the way of this leading pack. Yeah, Senna Herweijer, he is at a disastrous start to the season. He crashed out of the first race in Australia. And he's in dead last in the second race here in Bahrain. He's looking to turn around his fortunes for the next round in Imola. Oh, Tim Venting very, very wide there in the final corner. He is just about clinging onto the DRS. Look at that Jensen Randall now for the first time briefly had a 1.001 second lead, though it wasn't enough to actually get out of that second in the DRS detection points. So Tim Venting, he's pushing so hard to stay within the DRS 1 second window. I think he might have actually run wide there just to use up one of his track limit tokens to stay in a situation with Jensen Randall, because he knows he can't let him escape. And the pace is so strong that despite having fresher tires, David Rod is not able to catch up. And of course these drivers are really sort of towing each other along by slipstreaming each other on the main straight and on the back straight. Jensen Randall, he is really trying to break Tim Venting now. The gap is now over a second and Tim Venting does not have the DRS. Is this going to be where Jensen Randall is going to put the hammer down as Peter Nicol gets out of the way there in the Red Bull? Oh, he's going to be pretty careful. That's a very open position to let the others go through, but it looks like he didn't really interfere. So good on Peter Nicol there in the Red Bull. Sam Brand gets his time penalty as well. He's down in 14th place. But Jensen Randall and Tim Venting, it looks like they're now breaking up this group a little bit because they're now putting the hammer down. And is Jimmy Jägerström going to be able to keep up and stay within those 3 seconds? Alexei Kovenemi, he's going to have to work together with Tim Venting here. Alexei Kovenemi, he can't attack Tim Venting into a corner because then the battle for the lead is over. If you give Jensen Randall just an inch to escape out of the DRS, he is gone. Jensen Randall is so fast and consistent, he just doesn't make mistakes. And you can't afford to make one yourself if you want to have a chance of winning this race. But I'm sure that Tim Venting and Alexei Kovenemi know that, and they're going to try and work together here to try and stay with Jensen Randall. It looks like Jamie Jägerström is really struggling to stay with this group. He is just hanging on by his fingernails at the moment. And he doesn't have the DRS anymore from Alexei Kovenemi, so he will probably now fall into the clutches of David Rod in 5th place. So it looks like we've got a trio now fighting out for the race win, and all 3 of them have got that 3-second time penalty. So this is now going to be a fair fight for the race win with 5 laps to go. And Tim Venting, you gotta give credit to him. He has closed that gap back down to 0.6 of a second. It was over a second. But he has actually crawled back to the back of Jensen Randall. He's taken back the DRS advantage. You can see the rear wings opening there in the background. Onboard by Jensen Randall. The gap is still too large to actually make an attack for Tim Venting, but he is certainly keeping him in his vision. And also, just visually seeing that gap close and seeing that you're able to keep up with the driver in front of you is so motivating as well. Exiting turn 10. Tim Venting with the DRS open, using a bit of ERS as well. You can see the orange bar on the wheel there switching to a green bar when Tim Venting activates the overtake button and goes into full ERS deployment. And Tim Venting, he is locked in at the moment. He can see Jensen Randall in front of him. He knows he's close enough to stay in the DRS window. As we open up lap 26. Is Venting going to be close enough this time around? He is just keeping Jensen Randall in his side at the moment. DRS slot open once again for Tim Venting here on this first of 3 DRS zones. Braking on the curb, third gear corner on the exit. Very easy to lose the back end here of Wheelsman. Into this fast section of the circuit, 10, 5, 6 and 7. All 5th and 6th gear corners are now into turn 8. Down into second gear. On the power again. And then this very tricky brake zone here in turn 10. And then on the power, opening up the DRS just a little bit later because you want to avoid having that wheel spin while you open up the rear flap. And Jamie Jägerström has definitely fallen into the clutches now of David Roth. And Jägerström is now 1.6 seconds behind Alexei Koivuniemi, who is also dropped back from the top 2 here. Tim Venting and Jensen Rendel. Oh, David Roth almost pushing Jägerström through the corner there as he go through turn 13. And Alexei Koivuniemi not able to stay with the top 2 in front of him. He's got a time penalty as well. So Jamie Jägerström and David Roth definitely fighting for a podium here as David Roth goes through on the Williams before we head into turn 1. And with Alexei Koivuniemi now having that 3-second time penalty, we've got David Roth and Jamie Jägerström without penalties now fighting for P3. So David Roth could even leave today's race, still having the championship lead. As Robin Hersdagen retires in the pit lane. It's been a tough race for him. So Tim Venting is the only driver who is able to keep up with the pace of Jensen Rendel. All the others have now fallen off. Alexei Koivuniemi couldn't keep up, David Roth couldn't, Jamie Jägerström has now also fallen away. So it's now a duel between Jensen Rendel and Tim Venting, the current SRL champion and a former SRL champion, showing just why they are SRL title winners. Into turn 14 and 15 for the final time. As we start lap 28, 2 laps to go. Has Tim Venting got anything left in the locker? He's not close enough. 0.5 of a second is the difference. As David Roth now goes through on Alexei Koivuniemi for P3. It's a very good damage limitation for David Roth. Also, Jamie Jägerström dives it through on the inside of Alexei Koivuniemi up to 4th place. So Koivuniemi loses 2 places in 1 corner. Very unfortunate end for the race for Alexei Koivuniemi, dropping back after being in the leading group for a long time in his race. Jensen Rendel now really trying to put the hammer down. The gap is out to 0.8 of a second. And Tim Venting just clinging on to that 1 second DRS window. The gap is out to 0.9 of a second now. This is going to be the moment where Jensen Rendel takes the advantage and shakes Tim Venting out of his slipstream. Meanwhile, there's also a very close battle between Ivan Brito and Peter Nicol here for 15th place. Well, that is going on. But that is all inconsequential for the battle at the front. Jensen Rendel exits the final corner for the penultimate time to start the last lap here in Bahrain. And this is the first time he's actually bridged the gap to over second. And the first time that Tim Venting didn't have the DRS advantage there on the straight, though he breaks it in very deep and briefly got it back to under a second. Now it looks like Jensen Rendel has done enough now. He's got the 1 second advantage. It will have to be a mistake for Jensen Rendel or a desperate lunge for Tim Venting to change the outcome of this race. But it's certainly be an intriguing race. David Roth still running in 3rd place in front of Jamie Jägerström, as Dion Stahl makes a move on the other Williams with Noah Smith, who made a mistake there on the exit of the final corner. Back at the front, Jensen Rendel into turn 10 for the final time. Tim Ventic, he is still closed up. You gotta give credit for Tim Ventic for sticking within the slipstream of Jensen Rendel. He has still got the DRS open, but it looks like it's not gonna be close enough. Jensen Rendel through turn 12 and turn 13, fastest corner on the circuit. It's 7th gear, right-hander into turn 13 now. Down the 3rd gear, down the power again. Neatly done there on the exit. There's a back marker in the way there. He's not gonna interfere. Tim Venting still keeping him in his sights, though Jensen Rendel rounds the final corner. The current SRL World Champion crosses the line and wins his first race of the season. Tim Venting crosses the line in 2nd place. A very strong drive from him. And David Roth, first round's race winner, gets a 2nd podium in a row. Jamie Egerstrom will cross the line in 4th place. Alexei Kovenemi in 5th. And now we wait for Noah Rosso to win the battle for 6th place in front of the 2 Ferraris. Sandro Dulis here coming through the final corner. He's going to come home in 7th place in front of his Ferrari teammate Dion Staal. Dulis crosses the line. It's P7 for him. Dion Staal here in P8 in front of Vincenzo Torre. And the final point is going to be Noah Smith, who dropped back in the late stage of that race, but still clings on to 1 point. Dion Staal here across the line in 8th place, picks up 4 points. Vincenzo Torre in 8th actually benefits from a time penalty for Dion Staal. And here is Noah Smith in 10th place. George Wilkes is going to finish in P11. But the day belongs to Jensen Rendel. He has completed the last to first. He started from 17th on the grid. And he went all the way from 17th to first in 29 laps. What a drive from Jensen Rendel. Really strong performance. And well done, Tim Venting. He was the only one who was able to match his pace at the end of the race there. And he got really close to taking the victory here. So great drive for both of these drivers here. Here we can see the 2 McLarens. Senna Herbeyer there. He's actually got a puncture on the cool down lap. And he's now going to be able to drive back to the pit lane together with his teammate to celebrate Jensen Rendel's victory. But this has been a very action-packed race indeed. Gabriel Carmazini is going to finish in P11, just missing out on the point in front of George Wilkes. But what a drive from Jensen Rendel. A very impressive performance indeed. And rightly so, guest driver of the day. Bit of radar interference there. Apologies for that. So, yeah, we can see the podium. Jensen Rendel, after finishing in 5th place in Australia, he has bounced back to win his first round of the season, chasing his 4th SRL World Championship title. Tim Venting chasing his 2nd title, finishing in 2nd place. And David Rod, after winning his maiden Grand Prix in round 1, backs it up with a very strong podium finish here in Bahrain. But Jensen Rendel celebrates yet another victory. So here's your official results. Jensen Rendel wins the 2nd round of the season in front of Tim Venting. David Roth is in P3, backing up his win from Australia. Jamie Egerstrom in 4th place. Alexei Kovenemi is 5th. Noah Rosso is 6th. Sandro Dulis in 7th. Vincenzo Torre in 8th. Dion Staal in 9th. Noah Smith in 10th. Gabriel Garmazzini in 11th. George Wilkes in 12th. Sam Brandt P13. Ivan Brito P14. Peter Nickel P15. Max Mulder P16. Senna Herweyer in 17th. And Robin Hersthagen and Jesper Lampinen unfortunately failed to finish the race. So another intriguing race, a very, very interesting race with a very close leading group for the majority of those 29 laps here in Bahrain. Although Jensen Rendel and Tim Venting were just able to escape the rest. They were really in a league of their own. and Tim Venting just couldn't make an attack on Jensen Randall at the end. But that was certainly a very, very entertaining race to commentate on. Hopefully a very entertaining race to watch as well. And I really hope you enjoyed that one. Next round is going to be round 3 in Imola, as we start the European season. So, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We had a bit of technical issues at the start of the day during qualifying, for which I want to apologize, but luckily it has seemed to be stable for the entire race, which is the main part. So, hopefully you're able to enjoy the race, as I'm sure those drivers did as well. But it's certainly turning out to be a very interesting championship, with David Rod winning the first race in Australia and now Jensen Rindle taking a victory back here in Bahrain. Are those going to be the two drivers that we're going to be seeing fighting for the championship this season? It might actually be a multiple-way fight for the championship. We'll just have to wait and see. It's very early days, and it's only round 2 of 24 here for this 10th anniversary season in SRL. But from what we've seen from here in the first two races so far, it looks like this start of fight is going to be between Jensen Randall, David Roth, and possibly Tim Venting. I really see these 3 drivers as the strongest contenders to take the championship here in Season 10 of SRL. So this has been round 2 of the season on F1 24 on the PlayStation platform. This has been SRL. Check out SRL on Instagram, SRL_F1, to check out on all the news and notes and stay up to date with all the things that are going on in the world of SRL. I've been Niek van Gelder. I hope you enjoyed the race, and we'll see you for the next round, for round 3 of the season at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.